Coca-Cola Bottling Company and the Boston Red Sox are proud to present Baseball in Boston, an inside story on the great American pastime. This film was photographed and produced by Dick Borden and features his unique camera gun on action scenes. Yours truly, Curt Gowdy, will be your narrator. And the Boston Red Sox have extended all their facilities and cooperation in the production of this baseball film. All over the country during the summer, people are going to ballparks to enjoy the game which has become our national pastime. Wars have been fought and ended. We've had good times and bad. But for over 100 years, baseball has continued to give the fan the thrills and excitement which have made it a part of our way of life. Our ball game is here at Fenway Park in Boston, where plenty of ice-cold Coca-Cola is being brought in for the enjoyment of the fans. Long before game time, the park is being readied for today's game. Fenway Park is one of the country's best kept and cleanest baseball plants. Beneath the stand, boys bag peanuts, and as soon as our opposing managers have given the nod, the final lineup is printed in the day's program. You can't tell the players without a number. There'll be plenty of hot dogs on hand, too. Our fans have bought their tickets and programs. They're moving in now, and these folks come from all over New England. Meantime, the players are getting ready down in the clubhouses. Here's Billy Goodman putting on the traditional white uniform of the home team. Red Sox trainer Jack Fadden is working on pitcher Mel Parnell. That arm's a big investment for the Red Sox. Baseballs autographed by the stars give happiness to many youngsters, and Sam Mealy gladly obliges. Well, we've got a beautiful day for a game, and while you're there in person, thousands of other fans in every corner of New England will follow the game by radio. Television cameras will cover every play, and press photographers will shoot the highlight action for the newspapers and wire services. The Western Union Sports Ticker keeps the nation informed of the progress of our game, and many fans like to be at a game early to watch the players warming up. Infield practice is appreciated too. Then there's the pre-game meeting of umpires and managers as the batting orders are exchanged. And here come the Red Sox onto the diamond, and we're ready for baseball in Boston. These fans who come to Fenway Park root for the hometown Red Sox and have their individual favorites too, such as Ted Williams, one of baseball's all-time greats. Ted will always be remembered by New England fans for providing some of the top thrills in the history of the Red Sox, the only club for which he played. He made a dramatic comeback after a hitch of flying jets in Korea, and this was the first time he swung a bat after his return. He had to wear leather gloves to protect his hands away from baseball for 2 years. Williams' batting style and swing have been copied by youngsters all over the world. He constantly studies the opposing pitchers to learn their motions. The level swing and quick snap of the wrists have furnished the power for Williams to hit enough home runs to rank him 5th among the all-time home run hitters, despite 5 years in the service. Williams' lifetime average of .348 puts him right up near the top of the great hitters in history. Although especially known for his hitting, no one has been better than Ted in playing the tricky caroms off the left field wall at Fenway Park. Ted Williams' name will always be a legend to baseball fans, not only in New England, but everywhere baseball is taught and played. Another Boston favorite is outfielder Jimmy Pearsall, who has thrilled fans around the American League with his spectacular play. Pearsall has made almost unbelievable catches and throws since he came to the Red Sox in 1952. Folks in Waterbury, Connecticut are mighty proud of their hometown boy, who has become one of the bright stars of baseball. The only drives that Pearsall doesn't catch are those hit into home run territory. Right now, he's more concerned over his teammate Jackie Jensen, because Jim knows how it feels to slam into those fences and stands. In the field, at bat, or on the bases, Jim is a constant threat to the opposition, and this steal of home is typical of the verve with which Jimmy Pearsall plays baseball. Jackie Jensen is another member of one of baseball's finest outfields. The husky blonde from California possesses all the physical qualities that go to make up a real big leaguer. He has power at the plate. His outstanding speed and quick breaking ability won him top base stealing honors in the American League. Now it looks as if Jackie is an easy out here. Now watch this beautiful fadeaway slide. He's safe, and you had to see that one to believe it. Jensen is quite a defensive player, too. Just missing on a shoestring catch, Jackie will put his hustle and All-American football training to work and come up with a remarkable recovery. A good player never gives up on any hit ball. And this powerful throwing arm has cut down many a base runner. Another Fenway Park favorite is Billy Goodman, baseball's handyman, who can and has played as many as 5 different positions in one season. Batting .300 is an old story to the skinny kid from North Carolina, who now boasts of a lifetime average of .310, the third best of the active players in the American League. One of the few major leaguers playing in his hometown is Harry Aganis of Boston University football fame. Aganis was one of the nation's finest quarterbacks in collegiate football. First baseman Aganis came to the Red Sox in 1954 after only 1 year's experience in professional baseball. Sammy White is one of the game's top young catchers. He's deft on foul pop-ups, and his all-around ability have won him many fans. And sometimes a fellow knocks around this game and then finds his real home. The land of the bean and the cod certainly agreed with Grady Hatton, who played a brilliant third base for the Red Sox after coming to them in a trade. A mainstay of the pitching staff is Willard Nixon, who beat the Yankees 4 times in 1954. And here are Bill Henry, Russ Kemmerer, Frank Sullivan, Truman Clevenger, and Tom Brewer, pitching hopes for the future. And as our Boston fans follow their favorite Red Sox players, well, naturally, they take time out during a ball game for that pause that refreshes with delicious ice-cold Coca-Cola. Fans like these, and like yourself, have made Coke the most asked-for soft drink in all the world. The baseball season takes a break, too. For the 1954 All-Star Game, let's take a quick jump into the wigwam of the Cleveland Indians on the shores of Lake Erie and look over some of the stars who comprise the who's who of baseball. It was All-Star Game number 10 for Ted Williams. Jim Pearsall was playing in his first. Leo DeRocher was one of the National League coaches. In October of this same season, he led his New York Giants to the World Championship in this same Cleveland ballpark. Roy Campanella of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Ted Kluszewski, Cincinnati's home run slugger. Brooklyn fans will take their Duke Snider. Amazing Willie Mays of the New York Giants. This is one time his cap isn't falling off. Stan Musial, the National League's top lifetime hitter. A crowd of nearly 70,000 watched this spectacle. Started back in 1933 as a one-shot promotion, this annual game has become one of the top events on the American sporting calendar. The American League had Scrappy Nelson Fox of the White Sox. Al Rosen, the popular third baseman of the Cleveland Indians. Chico Carrasquel, Chicago's brilliant shortstop. He's a long way from his native Venezuela. And Larry Doby, the American League's top home run hitter for 1954. The American League had the edge going into this game with 12 victories against the National League's 8. And for the fans who like plenty of scoring and base hits, this All-Star Game was their dish. Here's Stan Musial connecting for the Nationals. And later, Minnie Minoso was cut down at third. But that didn't matter because the American League went on to win 11-10 in a game featured by 2 Al Rosen home runs and another by Larry Doby. And the 54 All-Star Game will also be remembered by this rhubarb at home plate, with the National League claiming a balk on pitcher Dean Stone. With the All-Star Game history, let's get on back to Boston because we've got lots of baseball left in the second half of the season. The Red Sox are in for another homestand. It's a chance to watch some of the greatest stars in the game. No matter who you're rooting for, you always enjoy watching the performers who have that extra bit of class. Big crowds like this mean that one of baseball's most colorful rivalries is on. The Yankees are in Boston. Hey, there's Irv Noren, the Yankee outfielder. Keep your eyes on Bill Skowron. He's a real comer. Joe Collins, the Yankees' nifty first baseman. One of the fastest men to ever play in the big leagues is Mickey Mantle, who can beat you with a bunt or a home run. Now the Cleveland Indians are in town, led by the chief himself, manager Al Lopez. Bob Lemon, one of the top pitchers in the game today. He's a perennial 20-game winner. The American League batting champ of 1954, Bobby Avila. You all know this feller. First name's Bob, and his lightning fastball has slipped past many a 300 hitter for a third strike. Also hard-hitting Al Rosen, Cleveland's third baseman. Al Smith flips down the sunglasses without losing his bead on a fly ball. Every team coming into Boston during the season brings named players. Bullet Bob Turley will be fireballing for the Yankees from now on. Baltimore fans hated to see him leave the Orioles. Detroit features hard-hitting third baseman Ray Boone. He loves it in Boston. He has a lifetime average of 400 at Fenway Park. Many men also, the White Sox are the real crowd pleaser. Bill Tuttle of the Tigers, one of the finest defensive center fielders in the league. Another bright young star is Bob Finnegan of the Athletics. They'll like his hitting in Kansas City. And the Iron Man currently in the majors is Eddie Yost. He hasn't missed a game since 1949. And Mickey Vernon with the Washington Senators. In the stands, the fans stir around in anticipation of the game and refresh with ice-cold Coca-Cola. Baseball has a big heart, too. Wounded war veterans are invited guests. Thousands of New England youngsters take advantage of Red Sox hospitality each season. And the Red Sox have contributed heavily in the fight for little children inflicted with cancer through their helping hand to the Jimmy Fund. Now let's watch some typical action you would see at Fenway Park during the season and pick out some of the inside factors that make the game so enjoyable to a true fan. Constant communication takes place during a ball game, from the dugout to the coaching boxes to the players. This base runner has received his instructions from his first base coach. Players must think ahead to the next play. With the runner on first base, a bunt might be called for. A good bunt which moves a man safely in the scoring position sometimes is the key to the outcome of a game. Here's a well-executed sacrifice as the batter has given himself up. A team must have a good defense against the bunt also. Look at that third baseman charging in, and the pitcher has to dash off the mound to cover. In fact, every man on the defense is on the move in a bunt situation. And now the pitcher gambles for a force out at second and loses. This one play might turn the entire game around. For those who like their inside baseball, the double play is one of the game's most fascinating tactics. Here's shortstop Willie Miranda starting a double play which will go from short to second to first. The double play combination of the shortstop and second baseman is the lifeline of the pitching staff, and very few teams have ever won the pennant without a slick pair around second base. To the offensive team, hitting into the double play kills many a rally. Watch the base runner go for the shortstop here and try to break up his throw to first base. On these takeout plays at second, some real football blocks can be thrown. Left-handed hitters with speed, such as Larry Doby, are hard men to double up. In making the double play, let's look at another takeout attempt. Notice the coordination and acrobatics required of an infielder to get his throw away. A good infielder is always in front of the ball. Despite a bobble, he'll still have a chance to get the runner. Infielders must have quick hands and reactions. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce the way it's supposed to. There's an old saying in baseball that anyone can play the good hops, but grabbing the bad bounces is the real test. A pitcher covering first base should come into the bag by running parallel to the foul line to avoid a collision with the base runner. The toughest play a shortstop must make is going to his right, deep in the hole, and still throwing the runner out at first base. This is the longest throw by an infielder during the course of a game. If he can consistently get his man on this play, he's a real big league shortstop. The umpires have helped make baseball a wonderful game. Sometimes the hometown fans don't quite agree with his decisions, but he's an impartial and well-trained observer who contributes honesty and hustle. He has to make hairline decisions and do it instantly. Some of his toughest decisions are at home plate, where many of the exciting plays take place. See how the home plate ump takes his mask off and moves into position to have the correct angle on the play. He's always in a better position to see the action than anyone in the entire park. At first glance, this runner is out. But no, the catcher dropped the ball and the man is safe. By being right on top of the play, the umpire was able to spot the detail that caused him to change his call. A catcher receives quite a beating at home plate. He has to block the plate and absorb the tremendous impact from the sliding runner. Now let's watch that same play in slow motion. Yogi Berra cannot hold on to the ball, and it's opposing catcher Sammy White who's on the giving, not the receiving end this time. Little things win or lose baseball games. A bare hand pickup to save time. A long stretch by the first baseman saves a precious split second also. And a runner is out instead of safe. Now here's a play that caused a hot rhubarb. From far up in the stands, the runner looks out as he's tagged off the base. Once again, our faithful umpire was alert and had the best position to see the play. Now examine the play in slow motion. Watch the third baseman push the runner off the bag with his tag. All the arguing in the world isn't going to help. The umpire was in the right spot, honestly judged the play, and believes in his own decision. Now here's another one. It's an involved rundown play. How does it look from your grandstand seat? Safe or out? Slow motion gives you a better look. Note how the infielder has his glove down, so the runner tags himself coming into the bag. Our fan who really knows the game always appreciates the extra effort by a player. Covering ground like this can save many a run during a season. And this turns out to be a close play thanks to some extra hustle. It would be a dull game if everything worked out perfectly in baseball. And this is why they put erasers on pencils. Despite a fall-away slide, this runner is still out. The infielder took his throw from the catcher, though, too far in front of the bag. When a fleet runner like Mickey Mantle takes off, everyone has to be on their toes. How do you call this play? Our slow-motion camera gives you more time than the umpire had. The slide at first base is to save a valuable split second. If you're wondering about injuries, Mantle tripped over the bag, not the pitcher's foot, and everything was all right, especially for the Red Sox, since this was the last out of a Red Sox win over the Yankees. And our ball game is over. The fans have really seen some inside baseball. In case of rain tonight, this nylon tarp will assure a dry field tomorrow, because there's always another tomorrow for baseball men. Brilliant young kids like left-handed bonus pitcher Frank Malzone must be signed. Heading a baseball organization of over 250 players, front office staffs, and scouts is a big job, and a former all-time great player-manager like Joe Cronin is just the man to fill it. Red Sox have 138 players now in the uniform of Uncle Sam. At Fort Jackson, South Carolina, 4 future Sox stars are members of the famous Screaming Eagle division. Fay Throneberry, who played outfield for the Red Sox in 1952. Frank LaMonica, an infielder from California. Joe Tanner, a shortstop from the University of Texas. And Haywood Sullivan, an All-American football quarterback of Florida and quite a catching prospect. These boys are just like hundreds of other young fellows. They're trying to do as good a job for Uncle Sam as they've done on a ball field. Most of them will take up their baseball careers again when they've completed their stretch in the service. Some of them will come out and move into the major leagues. The majority will go back to the minors and get the experience to work their way up. These sights must be familiar to many of you ex-GIs. Here at Fort Jackson, these young stars of the future have developed into good soldiers. There is a depth in firing mortars as they are in throwing a baseball. This is even hotter than an argument at home plate. And these 105 millimeter howitzers are just like the siege gun hitters in the majors. And the boys can handle the 75 millimeter recoilless rifle too. It's not all work for our Red Sox Army lads though. There's time for worship. And time to relax. To take that refreshing break for those bull sessions where naturally baseball is the topic of conversation, as these young hopefuls look forward to the day when they'll be wearing this emblem. Well, that's our Boston baseball story. It's a story which has a new edition every summer, but always a different script. Baseball in Boston means excitement, color, drama. Baseball fans never tire of seeing and talking about the game they love. The stars of today hold the spotlight, but the youngsters are on their way up to replace them in the future. The Boston Red Sox, who bottles delicious Coca-Cola, hope you've enjoyed this inside story. We thank you for your loyalty to baseball, to the Red Sox, and to Coca-Cola, the unique product that has become as much a part of American life as baseball itself. And remember, whether you're a player in the clubhouse or a fan in the stands, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola, for Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. Since 1903, the Boston American League Baseball Club has given New England top baseball entertainment. In those 52 years, no season gave the fan any more to talk about than the 1955 campaign. Your neighboring Coca-Cola bottler invites you to make yourself at home with the Fighting Red Sox of 1955. While New Englanders still shiver under a blanket of snow, their baseball team opens for business in sunny Sarasota, Florida. Since 1933, the Sox have made their spring home in this vacation land of golf courses, beaches, art museums, and warm sunshine. Old Pete the Pelican is always on hand as the welcoming committee. The Red Sox are at home in Sarasota's Payne Park, and gay banners invite a visit to the ballpark, where pepper games sharpen the eyes of proven stars and eager rookies alike. A lot of winter stiffness comes out in these first days of reconditioning, and the excess poundage melts away. Young Billy Consolo and veteran Grady Hatton will have their own individual ways of getting ready for more strenuous days to come. And a pitcher is only as good as his legs, so Coach Boo Ferris gives the Red Sox hurlers plenty of running. The greatest show on earth is also here. Since the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus makes Sarasota its winter headquarters too. The big top signals a welcome to thousands of tourists who might envy this fellow's long neck for a peek over Payne Park fence. And they enjoy this picture of pure pleasure as Fern Hippo lolls in his bath. You better watch that waistline, bub. The circus also goes through spring training routine in anticipation of the summer ahead. Well, finished with early workouts, the team is ready now for testing and competition with other clubs in the Grapefruit League. The Cardinals are in, and Stan Musial and Red Schoendienst are only two of the bright stars the fans can get next to. Spring lineups are likely to feature young players making bids for promotion, as well as established stars such as Stan Musial out to sharpen their batting eye, and Billy Goodman retaliating for Boston. Around the 1st of April, the Sox break camp and pull out for the North. They'll play their way home to Boston, where the State House dome gleams a welcome and magnolias bloom on Beacon Hill. It's opening day at Fenway Park, and the Red Sox are at home to baseball-hungry fans eager for the action and excitement of our national game. Wherever baseball calls the crowd, bright and bracing Coca-Cola's on hand to refresh them with its matchless taste and tingle. There are plenty of sick grandmothers in Boston this day, and if the boss is looking for some extra work that needs doing, well, he's out of luck. Massachusetts Governor Christian Herter has the afternoon set aside for baseball, too, and he's welcomed by owner Tom Yockey in the brown jacket. Naturally, opening day means plenty of ceremony and color. The youngsters are eager to strut their stuff. The governor is no different than the man in the bleachers. He's having fun, too. Great American traditions mix and mingle as a color guard from the United States Marine Corps does its part in the festival of baseball's opening day. After saluting the governor, they accept the flag from him and move to the pole in center field for the official flag-raising ceremony. From Bush League to Big League, nothing better typifies America than the sight of Old Glory waving over a ballpark. Everyone comes to attention as Arthur Fiedler, the famous conductor of the Boston Pops Orchestra, leads the band in our national anthem. After the opening day ceremonies, the chief executive of the Commonwealth has the honor of throwing out the first ball in Fenway Park, the home of the Red Sox. And another season is underway as the Boston team breaks onto the field. The slate is clean for whatever this year's stars will write. From one of Fenway Park's light towers, it's quite a scene as the Boston team of touted youngsters and seasoned veterans carry New England's banners into another season that stretches 6 months and 154 games into the future. The long-standing rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees is one of the hottest in baseball. The Yankees provide exciting competition for opening day and feature their star Mickey Mantle, who is to lead the American League in home runs. Gil McDougall is out at second, and this turns out to be the first double play of the home season. Boston bats begin to boom, giving Willard Nixon a safe foundation for an 8-4 victory. The Red Sox-Yankee games are always heated affairs, and after a hair-breadth decision at home which went against him, Irv Noren talks his way into an early shower. As usual, the umpires have the best view and the final word. A close play at home provides excitement for the fans, and another run for the Red Sox, as Billy Hunter's desperate throw gets away from Yogi Berra, and Billy Klaus comes in to score from third. This opening victory over the Yankees was one of the few bright spots of the early season as the Sox got off to a slow start. The team and the fans are given a tremendous lift, however, when General Manager Joe Cronin passes along to Publicity Director Joe McKinney the exciting news that Ted Williams is coming back to baseball and will report immediately. Boston's baseball writers rush the great news to their papers. Ted Williams is one of the most colorful personalities ever to make baseball a business, a crowd pleaser and a murderous weapon to be used against opposing teams. With a lifetime average of .348, fourth best in the game since 1900, the big guy hit .356 in 1955. As big as this story was, it was soon overshadowed by an even bigger one. The tragic death of 25-year-old Harry Aganis, one of the most stunning blows in Major League history. Aganis died June 27th from pneumonia complications. Hitting .313 at the time of his death, Aganis was well on his way to becoming one of the top first basemen in the game. Tributes poured in from all over the country to this magnificent athlete who had realized his lifetime ambition when he put on the uniform of his beloved Red Sox. Through his high school career at Lynn, his All-American football days at Boston University, and his brilliant baseball performances, Harry Aganis was one of the finest competitive athletes in the history of all sport. The Red Sox had a new manager in 1955, Mike Higgins, who had served well in piloting Red Sox farm clubs for 8 years. Combining leadership and patience with a keen baseball mind, Higgins was to turn in one of the top managerial jobs in American League history. 15 games behind when Ted Williams came back, the Sox began almost immediately the fabulous climb that was to send them into the midst of the hottest fight the American League pennant race had known for years. Ted also resumed his familiar tattoo on stadium fences around the league by smashing out 27 home runs. As Williams began to hit, he hauled his Red Sox teammates along with him. One of the sparks in the team's resurgence was fire-eating Billy Klaus, the kid shortstop picked up in the winter of 1954 after knocking around the minors for years. Billy Klaus became one of the most talked-about players of the season. Whether it was fielding or beating out an infield bounder like this, hustle was Billy Klaus's trademark. Playing alongside Klaus at second base was veteran Billy Goodman, who helps keep the grass cut at Fenway Park. Billy ended up the year hitting close to 300 and is one of the top 5 lifetime hitters in the American League. His 176 hits led the Red Sox in 55, and he drew 99 walks in the leadoff position. One of the most versatile players in the game, Goodman has worked at 5 positions for the Red Sox, a handy man when the pressure began to mount. Another reason for the Boston surge was Grady Hatton, a Stonewall Jackson third baseman. He had the knack of coming up with a big hit or timely play. Hatton's clever glove work made him one of the best third basemen in the league. Rounding out the Red Sox infield was big rookie first baseman Norm Zauchin. The black band on Norm's left sleeve is the mourning band that the Boston team wore in tribute to Harry Aganis. Zauchin put his big bat to work as the Red Sox began breathing on First Division nets. For one game against Washington, Norm had 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in, and he rammed out 27 homers to aid the season's cause. Jim Pearsall formed the third of one of baseball's best outfields in 1955, handling center field as though he invented the position. His sparkling defensive work left the fans breathless. On offense, Jim showed improved power at the plate, and in every department played the game hard. Scenes like this give trainer Jack Fadden some anxious moments. The Red Sox right fielder Jackie Jensen had a solid 1955 season and more than carried his share of the load as Boston pulled up on the leaders. He hit 26 home runs and tied for league leadership in runs batted in with 116. Jackie's the owner of a strong throwing arm and rates excellent as a fielder. Next All-American fullback, Jensen used his blazing speed to steal 16 bases for Boston. The outfield reserves did their bit in the flag chase, too. Young Gene Stevens and Faye Thornberry are promising stars of the Red Sox tomorrow. The coaching staff was ably represented by Del Baker coaching at first base, and Jack Burns took over traffic duties at third. With the infield as tight as a snare drum head, with Williams, Pearsall, and Jensen patrolling their beats in the outfield, with Sammy White an Iron Man catcher, and good pitching, the Red Sox started up through the traffic jam in the American League. The Yankees and Cleveland had the favorites roll when the season began, but the hot weeks of July and August brought on a new threat, a hard-hitting, hard-playing team from Beantown, a team that refused to stay put in the second division and struck straight for the top. With a timely hit here, a running catch in the outfield there, a backhand stop in the infield, and alert base running every game, the Red Sox were the hottest team in mid-season. The top 3 teams of the American League watched over their shoulders as the Red Sox kept climbing. Players in New York, Cleveland, and Chicago kept one eye on the scoreboard for late news from Fenway Park. Could this fighting Boston team go all the way? This was baseball at its best as the Red Sox surged upward. The pitching staff was paced by skyscraping Frank Sullivan, who posted 18 victories. Pausing to refresh only briefly between trips to the mound, Sullivan worked more innings than any other pitcher in the American League. After a discouraging start with too few runs scored behind him, young Tom Brewer found winning ways as the Sox came on. Taking 11 of his last 14 decisions, Brewer, too, was a factor in the fight. As was George Soucy Jr., who won 9 and lost only 7 in a fine first year. Soucy learned his trade from his dad, George Soucy Sr., now the pitching coach of the Kansas City Athletics. Veteran Willard Nixon whipped the Yankees on opening day and went on to post 12 decisions on the season. Ike DeLock saved his best days against the top teams. And Frank Baumann, just out of the Army, gave promise of future victories. Coach Paul Schreiber alerts the bullpen. A trio of Red Sox relievers snuffed out many an opponent's rally. Leo Kiley and Tommy Hurd with pitching coach Dave Ferris, while ageless Ellis Kinder lends a confident air. Solid catching backed up the Red Sox pitching staff. Mickey Owen taught some hard-won tricks to Sammy White, who did a masterful job in handling Boston pitchers. An accomplished receiver after only 4 Major League seasons, White caught more games in a season than any catcher in the history of the Red Sox. Yes, the Red Sox gave him a run for it, all right. Veteran fans say that no team ever captured the imagination of the public more than the 1955 Boston team. Their tremendous comeback and spirited play drew a rabid following, a following that hung on even as the shadows fell and the players went home. And home was a mighty fine place to be after a hot game and a hectic pennant race. Mrs. Jim Pearsall and her 4 little outfielders spread a real welcome mat when Dad comes in. Seeing his idol in uniform, the fan doesn't often think of him as a husband and father, babysitter and dishwasher. But when the diamond dust settles, the Sox players at home are, after all, just like other hard-working husbands. The 1955 season had other days of color and excitement. On Hall of Fame Day, the crowd came early and stayed late. Near at hand, of course, were frosty bottles of delicious Coca-Cola. For as long as baseball has been America's favorite sport, Coke has been America's favorite soft drink. With ice-cold Coca-Cola poured into handy paper cups, spectators were all set for top enjoyment. The press cameras and familiar TV lenses covered for stay-at-homes. This is a very special event at Fenway Park as the Red Sox pay tribute to living members of baseball's Hall of Fame. An imposing quartet with Chris Speaker, Fred Clark, Clark Griffith, and Cy Young. The old Fox of Washington, Clark Griffith, chats with Mrs. Joe Cronin of the Red Sox. An elite baseball grouping features Home Run Baker, Joe DiMaggio, Ford Frick, and Jimmy Fox. The great Chris Speaker returns to Boston, where he used to star in center field for the Red Sox. General Manager Cronin introduces Warren Giles, President of the National League. William Harridge, President of the American League, and Ford Frick, the Commissioner of Baseball. Among Diamond Immortals present were Frank Baker of home run fame, Mickey Cochran, an all-time catcher, Robert Moses Lefty Grove back in a Red Sox uniform, Paul Wainer, one of 6 players to pound out more than 3,000 hits in a career. The man who won more games than any other baseball pitcher, Denton Cy Young. The Hall of Famers bring back memories of yesteryear when Lefty Grove racked up his 300 pitching victories. Gabby Hartnett was slugging for the Cubs. Dazzy Vance was throwing his fastball by the hitters. Harry Hooper was a member of the famous Lewis Speaker and Hooper Red Sox outfield. Charlie Gehringer, the mechanical man, was performing for the Tigers, and Jimmy Fox for the Red Sox. During the 1955 season, the Red Sox also went to Cooperstown, New York, on the shores of beautiful Lake Otsego, to take part in annual ceremonies in the City of Baseball Shrine. Today, the new members of the Hall of Fame are to be inducted. There's also an exhibition game between the Red Sox and the Braves, with sluggers Ted Williams and young Eddie Matthews squaring off against each other. This is the big day of the summer for folks in this area. They've come from miles around for the game and ceremonies. There's some argument as to whether Cooperstown is the true birthplace of baseball. But regardless, the game's National Museum and Hall of Fame was built here in 1929. It takes a 75% vote of the Baseball Writers Association to become a member of the Hall of Fame. Ford Frick officiated at the ceremonies, as 1955 saw 6 new members elected, including Gabby Hartnett, former catcher and manager of the Cubs, and the peerless Joe DiMaggio, center fielder of the New York Yankees. The Baseball Museum is a treasure house crammed with the memories of deeds and greats in the annals of our national pastime. Joe DiMaggio gets a special thrill as he examines a locker that used to hold his uniform at Yankee Stadium. This is a bronze bust of the great Christy Mathewson. And these are George Evans trophies awarded for hitting prowess to Ty Cobb in 1911 with an average of .417. Cobb again in 1910, Honus Wagner in 1908, and Cobb in 1909. Even here, the umpires take a gentle ribbing. And another painting shows the Flying Dutchman, Honus Wagner, considered the top shortstop of all time. Red Sox immortals are at home, too, in the Hall of Fame, with the Jimmy Fox plaque and the great Eddie Collins' bronze hand. A scorecard from the 1905 World Series advertises Coca-Cola, whose bottler sponsored the Little Bigger League, since renamed in honor of famed Babe Ruth, surrounded here by worshiping youngsters. The Bambino's golden shoe and home run bats, the baseball that Ruth hit for his last round tripper, and the American League plaque in his honor. More than any other sport, baseball pays homage to its heroes and their accomplishments. And that's what we've been doing, really, paying homage to the Boston Red Sox of 1955. A team equally at home in Sarasota, Florida, in Fenway Park, in upper division standings, and in our memories. This was a fighting team in 1955. It had strength and speed, hitting and heart, hustle and experience. It's a team to be long remembered in the hearts of baseball fans everywhere. The Boston Red Sox and your neighbor who bottles bright and bracing Coca-Cola hope you've enjoyed being at home with the Red Sox. We thank you for your loyalty to baseball, to our Boston team, and to Coca-Cola, the unique product that has become as much a part of American life as baseball itself. Remember, whether you're a fan in the stands or a player in the clubhouse, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola, for Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes, and ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. Especially in the summer, the northeast corner of the United States is known for its baseball team. This is the story of that team, of the Boston Red Sox, pride of New England. A story brought your way by your friendly neighbor who bottles sparkling Coca-Cola. New England is a 6-state family made up of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. Its hub is Boston, famed for its majestic harbor, and the Custom House Tower. For Old Ironsides, the good ship Constitution, and the Golden Crown State House. For Paul Revere and the Old North Church, and famed as well for Fenway Park, where even beneath the shroud of snow, the Hot Stove League burns brightly. Meet Mike Higgins is an invitation any baseball fan would accept. And ace baseball writers and sportscasters from all over New England are on hand for the annual preseason press conference when pennants can be had simply for the wishing. In In their turn, the riders pitch their annual dinner and present Red Sox owner Tom Yawkey with a silver bat, emblematic of his great service to the game. Boston Coca-Cola bottler Davenport Brown joins Joe Cronin and Mike Higgins in the tribute to Yawkey. Young Billy Klaus wins Boston's Red Sox Rookie of the Year award for the 1955 season, presented in memory of the late Harry Aganis. And before you know it, spring training calls and the soft, salt air of Sarasota bids welcome. And that first line drive makes the blood flow fast. And even the bunts drop right. Fielding drills begin to sparkle, and the whole team looks ready for combat. Coach Jack Burns teaches some of the inside tricks to rookie Don Budden. Meanwhile, in DeLand, Florida, the San Francisco Seals, the Red Sox Pacific Coast League Club, go through their training paces, and here may be the stars of the future for the Red Sox. Under the guidance of Johnny Murphy, the Red Sox farm director, top scouts and Red Sox National Association managers assemble to pass on instruction in baseball techniques. These promising kids, such as Stan Willis, receive individual teaching in the fine tricks of the trade. Assistant Farm Director Charlie Wagner works with Jack Osborne on his follow-through. Johnny Murphy, one of the finest relief pitchers of all time, is helping Earl Wilson develop his curve. Such personal instruction helps smooth the way for these youngsters. A bright prospect is Jerry Green, the Eastern League All-Star shortstop for 1956. Infielder Joe Tanner polishes the tag play at second base. All young Americans aim for the top, and the goal of these eager youngsters is the major leagues. Back in the Red Sox training camp, it's time for the trip home to Beantown. Opening day is a carnival scene with a crowd in a holiday mood, and the familiar trucks loaded with sparkling Coca-Cola promise refreshment for all. And the customers throng to greet the Red Sox. Inside Fenway Park, there's an air of excitement as the fans are eager to welcome back such favorite stars as Ted Williams, the all-time hitting great, and infielder Billy Klaus. There are new additions like Mickey Vernon, acquired from Washington to play a lot of first base in Boston. One veteran pitching star on hand is Willard Nixon, the Yankee beater. Red Sox President Tom Yawkey and Boston Mayor John Hines lend support for Massachusetts Governor Christian Herter, who throws out the first ball to open the season. And it's always a special thrill when the home team takes the field to begin a new season. After the opening of the season, the campaign settles down as game after game provides New England with baseball thrills. It may be the Yankees in town, with Sammy White handling star pitcher Tom Brewer. The ace of the Red Sox pitching staff faces a tough customer in Yogi Berra, one of the best clutch hitters in baseball. Yogi pulls the trigger on a long smash to left center. Here's some alert fielding on this base hit as left fielder Dick Gernert backs up Jimmy Pearsall. Gernert strike to third base cuts down the Yankees' lead runner. Ted Williams, a friendly sight to Boston fans, a fearsome nightmare to visiting pitchers, the center of all attention when he strides to the plate. One of the thrills of first perfect game of World Series history. And little did Larson realize at this time that he was to become the talk of the baseball world. When Williams is up, the pitcher must come into that strike zone against the sharpest pair of eyes in the game. That's right now, honey, get set. Because this is one of baseball's most famous swings and the pride of New England since 1939. Not every crack of the bat is a hit, however. Red Sox pitcher Bob Porterfield faces pesky Billy Martin of the Yankees. Here's the pitch, and there's a high foul pop-up. Watch Dick Gernert being warned of his approach to the Red Sox dugout by Boo Ferris, preventing perhaps a nasty spill. Some lucky fan has a big moment with a treasured souvenir. These fans prefer their own big moment, and they pause to enjoy the sparkling refreshment of the world's most asked-for soft drink, ice-cold Coca-Cola. More action now, and here's Don Larson pitching out of his now famous no wind-up delivery, which he first used against the Red Sox. Yogi Berra bluffs a pick-off throw and sends Jackie Jensen diving back to safety. And tension subsides again. Coming up is one of the most controversial plays of the 1956 season. Dave Sisler, pitching for Boston, will be facing mighty Mickey Mantle, who is to challenge Babe Ruth's home run record. Watch it now. Is this smash going into the center field bleachers for a home run or off the wall and in play? The umpire rules the drive struck the top of the bleacher wall, and Mantle is on third base with a triple. Casey Stengel and the Yankees have a different opinion, though. Stengel may be wrong, but he's not in doubt. Stengel protested the game, but it was not upheld by the American League office. Old Case blows his top, and he's out of the game and earns an early trip to the showers. Press steward Tommy McCarthy brings on the Coke to the baseball writers, who are rehashing the play after the game. An annual junket for some Boston heroes takes them to Washington this year. In 1956, the nation's capital plays host to the annual Major League All-Star Game. And the program pays tribute to the late Clark Griffith, the famous old fox of the Washington Club. It's a lucky ticket holder who gets this close to the Diamond Greats. Stars like powerful Ted Kluszewski and barrel-chested Roy Campanella. Tom Yawkey is there, of course, chatting with Spike Briggs of the Detroit Tigers and Arnold Johnson of the Athletics with his back to you. And Mrs. Tom Yawkey has a last-minute chat with Ted Williams, now earning his 12th appearance in the All-Star Game. There's Tom Brewer and Ray Boone alongside of Ted. The Air Force Band is part of the pregame pageantry, as a full stadium of eager fans sit back to enjoy the dream game. The first All-Star Game was played in Chicago in 1933, and it is now one of the top annual attractions in American sports. A dream game it is in 1956, with a stabbing catch by the Tigers' Harvey Keene, one of the bright young lights of the American League. A clean single by veteran Mickey Vernon to delight his former Washington boosters. The port-side pitching of Yankee Whitey Ford and brilliant young Ken Boyer of the Cardinals. The most exciting moment of their baseball lives begins for many fans in the 6th inning, when Ted Williams takes a look at the All-Star script and sends a fastball off the Braves' Warren Spahn, sailing into the center field bullpen. One home run deserves another, and Mickey Mantle has one to spare. Back-to-back homers for only the second time in All-Star Game history. Even a dream can't last forever, so it's back to the banks of the Charles River for Red Sox All-Stars Williams, Vernon, Sullivan, and Brewer. And back to the day-by-day business of fighting for a pennant. The comeback guy of the Red Sox was Dick Gernert, who was a big factor in the team's first division finish. After an illness and being sent back to the minors, Gernert bounced back to pour his hustle and home run bat into a hole created when Ted Williams turned up injured. After Williams returned, Gernert alternated between the outfield and first base and was a valuable man for manager Mike Higgins. Veteran Bill Summers behind the plate as the umpire. And here's a view the fan doesn't often get. The pitch and the swing. The casual tag of foot on bag. And one of the 167 double plays the Red Sox pulled off in 1956. Now the ump sweeps off the stage for another sparkling act. This time starring Fay Thornberry, who does the hitting. This is a long lens view of a fine defensive catch by Larry Doby of the White Sox, and shows that Fenway Park was just big enough for this well-tagged blow. One of the real heartwarming stories of 1956 is Mickey Vernon. Early win, Cleveland's 20-game winning pitchers on the mound. And there it goes. Vernon was the American League batting champ in 1946 and 1953. Mickey came to Boston in a winter trade after starring for many years in Washington. Left-hander Mel Parnell couldn't have known it as trainer Jack Fadden worked him over. But 1956 is to yield his magic moment in a career of 10 years. He's pitching to Chicago, and as the innings add up, those of us in the radio TV booth watch the tension build up. And here's a reenactment of the final out of this famous game as Walt Dropo hits a one-hopper back to the mound. Parnell makes the play himself at first, and that's it. The first no-hitter in 39 years at Fenway Park. With his name in headlines, it's Mel Parnell, no-hit pitcher. And now he's really the pride of New England, and all the way from the state of Maine comes Governor Edmund Muskie and other Red Sox fans to do him honor. Ted Lepsio gets tribute too, the gift of a black bear cub of all things. Manager Mike Higgins has the best of it, perhaps, with the company of Miss State of Maine. Now here's another piece of 1956 thrilling action. Sammy White springs the trap in one of baseball's most exciting plays, the rundown. Don Budden applies further pressure. And look what we've caught, the Tigers' Harvey Keene. Now first baseman Norm Zouchin decides there's fairer game at third base. It's Al Kaline, and they'd rather erase the man in scoring position. Third baseman Malzone makes the tag, and the inning ends on a happy note for Boston. If human interest is your meat, well, you go for the story of handsome Jimmy Pearsall, the pride of anybody who admires grace and grit. On Pearsall Day in Fenway Park, New England fans pay tribute to this native son of Waterbury, Connecticut, and shower him with gifts and attention. 3 beautiful daughters watch Mrs. Pearsall get a thank you kiss from her happy husband. Well, delightful as this is, Dad has work to do and begs to be excused to take care of business. The business of splitting opposition outfield. While they tear up the cinder path in a vain recovery, Jim is burning up the base paths for an inside-the-park home run. Which, by the way, is a real rarity at Fenway Park. Another New Englander is Hank Soar. And here's one for looks and for picture books. Quick force play. And the unsuccessful effort to make it 2. Like to see that one in slow motion? Third baseman Ray Boone shovels up the scooting ball and snaps it to second base. Leapfrogging's in season for the Tigers' Frank Bowling. Relay to first, not in time. Tough luck, buddy. All New England is proud of Tom Brewer in 1956. This talented young pitcher racked up 19 big victories in his 3rd season with the Red Sox, more than justifying the promise he showed as a rookie. Brewer fools this hitter with one of the best curves in the business. At game's end, Tom heads for home. to an eager family that meets him on the front walk. Like most good athletes, Tom Brewer heads for the family refrigerator, too, and for a frosty bottle of Coca-Cola. At work or at play, at home or away, Coke has a real great taste that puts you at your sparkling best. Whenever Mickey Mantle comes to bat, there's an air of excitement. This versatile young star bats from either side with equal power. In 1956, Mickey was to be named the most valuable player in the American League by unanimous vote. And he became the first player since Ted Williams did it in 1942 to win the Major League's Triple Crown of batting. Red Sox fans cheer on plays like this as Jim Pearsall flashes safely into second base. Now let's take another look in slow motion. Shortstop Don Budden, a leading candidate for Rookie of the Year honors, shows off for the home folks with a sterling piece of glove work and an off-balance peg for the putout. Let's give the double take treatment to another defensive play now. Don Budden is going in the hole for a long throw to first base. Now in slow motion, Budden covered a lot of ground on this one, but he has trouble getting the ball out of his glove. A split second or two means a lot in baseball, and the runner is safe on what was still a fine defensive try. This one is just right, though. Milt bowling to Budden and over to Sawx, second to short to first. Don Budden will find a shortstop's job waiting at Fenway Park when he gets back from a hitch in the Army. If at first you don't succeed, tag again. Budden gets his man even though it does take 2 tries and a rerun in slow motion. Another native New England umpire like Red Flaherty is right on top of a lot of brilliant action in 1956 as the Boston Red Sox put on their share of the show. Here's a successful try at third base. The slow motion camera gives us a baseball ballet, a sparkling blend of speed and skill. The hook slide works for Pearsall, but not for Minnie Minoso of the White Sox. A fiery competitor who always delights the crowd, Minnie can't believe that the umpire says no. One thing for sure, the ump isn't going to change his decision. Minoso is licked before he starts to argue, but it's fun to watch him try. Fans like to watch a hustler who fights for what he thinks is right. And this is what it means to be hopping mad. And sometimes it earns you a ride right out of the ball game. This, then, is the story of the Red Sox, pride of New England in 1956. It's a story compounded of startling white uniforms and bright green grass, of booming bats and moving men, of speed and skill and hustle and heart. This is baseball, America's favorite game, and in Boston, they do it up big. Thanks to the loyal support of 6 closely tied states, the Red Sox can proudly claim to be, in truth, the pride of New England. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fenway Park, the home of the Boston Red Sox. Here every season, well over 1 million fans come to watch New England's own Major League Ball club. They enjoy the thrilling action afforded when the parade of teams and stars invade old Beantown. So let's play ball with the Red Sox. Golden Gate Bridge is a long way from Boston, but the Red Sox wrote a big chapter in the now historic San Francisco baseball story. San Franciscans love their fabled cable cars, but now they have something else to cherish too. Major League Baseball. This is Seal Stadium, the new home of the New York Giants, which used to belong to the Red Sox. The Red Sox are on the West Coast for an exhibition tour and are welcomed by Harry Hooper, former great Red Sox outfielder. San Francisco pays tribute to native son Joe Curt, who started his Hall of Fame career in this city. A packed house watched the Red Sox play their top farm club as farm director Johnny Murphy looks over some of the talent. In their last year at San Francisco, the Red Sox-owned Seals won the Pacific Coast Championship, reviving baseball interest and paving the way for big league baseball. The Red Sox hopped off for another exhibition game on their West Coast tour and to still another city which made baseball history. Los Angeles. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers now. The Red Sox pay a visit to Paramount Studios in their spare time. Movie stars such as comedian Jerry Lewis are rabid baseball fans, and the Dodger home games should be an autograph hunter's delight with the movie colony turning out. On stage or off, Jerry always provides a laugh. The Red Sox squad makes a good audience. Say that Lewis has a fancy glove. You're in the wrong business, Jerry. And now the Red Sox preseason tour heads for the land of sun and cactus and Phoenix. This ballpark will be the home of Phoenix's new baseball club, which takes over San Francisco's berth in the Pacific Coast League, another unprecedented baseball switch. San Francisco Giant star Willie Mays should write as many headlines on the West Coast as he did in the East. But the Red Sox have their own business back home as they arrive at Back Bay for the start of a new season. Tulip time in the Boston Public Gardens gives evidence that spring and baseball are right in season. Time, too, to get Fenway Park stocked up with the drink that goes with baseball or any other occasion when fun and relaxation take over. New England fans have had a long winter's wait for their Red Sox in baseball. You always see celebrities at Fenway Park, and here's Boston's husband and wife championship team. Harold Connolly, Uncle Sam's Olympic hammer champ, and his Czechoslovakian wife Olga, who was the women's Olympic discus gold medal winner. Ted Williams broke in with the Red Sox back in 1939, but he appears to get more enjoyment out of baseball than even the most eager rookie. And there's Frank Malzone, all set to provide the Red Sox with some great third base play. Mr. King Size, Frank Sullivan. And the skipper himself, Mike Higgins. Over on the other side, Casey Stengel, the Yankees' cagey manager, has seen a lot of baseball seasons come and go. He's probably wondering what's in store for the Yanks and their young slugging star, Mickey Mantle. Harvard's famous band is on hand for the opening ceremony. The start of a baseball season is always a red-letter day on a Major League city's calendar. It's game time. The field is cleared. And the honor of getting the season officially underway goes to Foster Percolo, governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Boston's Mayor Johnny Hines likes his style. Bill Summers, the veteran umpire, leads the men in blue. And it's time to play ball with the Red Sox. From now until October, let's watch the plays and stars as Fenway Park provides the most thrilling show in New England. Yogi Berra may look scholarly with the glasses, but he's usually a menacing figure to fans and opposing pitchers. Willard Nixon gets Yogi to wrap into a double play, and the Yankee threat is ended. That's a routine double play. Here's one that doesn't crop up too often. From catcher to first base. Out. The force is off, and the runner must now be tagged at second. Different ball handling, but still 2 outs. Americans like speed in all sports, and Bob Turley has it when it comes to throwing a baseball. Sammy White tops a roller to third, and despite a fine play by Andy Carey, White beats it out as a Red Sox run crosses the plate. Turley again in action. He wants to be relaxed and ready because he's facing Frank Malzone, who knocked in 103 runs in 1957 with base hits like this. Don Larson pitching to Gene Mott. Baseball is a game of inches, and here's proof. Mickey Mantle just misses a backhanded stab, and the Yankees are in trouble. Mock is on his way in the race between man and ball. Here's a real belly flopper, and Mock is safe with a triple. Let's take a look at that play in slow motion. No doubt about it, that's real baseball hustle. Boston's John Hancock Building and bleacher fans look on through the summer as the action unfolds. Davenport Brown, the president of the Boston Coca-Cola Bottling Company, is an avid ball fan too, and checks the inside dope with Mike Higgins and the big slugger himself. Squat right behind the plate with a catcher, and watch this Kansas City runner being thrown out at second. Now the Red Sox click off a double play. Big Gus Zernio tries to take the shortstop out of action, but the throw's away, and it's not even close at first base. The Athletics' Hal Smith gets caught in a rundown between Frank Malzone and catcher Pete Daly. A little more stretch there, Pete. Yep, the boys handled that one just right. Here's a perfect slide coming up. It's a close play at third base on Jim Pearsall, with Hector Lopez handling the throw. No, you can't push him off that bag, says umpire Eddie Rommel. There are many special days during the season at Fenway Park. On this particular occasion, it's Shriners Day, as Mike Higgins and Ted Williams are honored. But then Mother Nature gets into the act, and the Red Sox ground crew goes to work. The big crowd stays around. They came to see a ball game. Now the shower is over, and the field is put in shape. And here's the sun. And it's play ball with the Red Sox after all. Everybody's set for action. Now it's happiness that reigns as the Red Sox get a rally going and a Tiger lead goes down the drain. Another day, another play. This time the bunt is on. Earl Torgeson is on the ball and shows how the left-handed fielding first baseman has the edge. Frank Sullivan's 7-league stride beats the play at first. Attaboy, Sully. Muscle man Jackie Jensen is all business. The Red Sox are out in front. Jackie gets the hit sign on a 3-1 count. And there it goes toward Fenway Park's famous left field wall. The Pigeons take wing, and so does a Tiger left fielder. And Jensen is robbed of a base hit. And now the Cleveland Indians are in town. Jim Pearsall looks determined, and no wonder. He's up against one of baseball's best pitchers, Early Wynn, whom the Indians traded to the White Sox in the offseason. Base hit. And Pearsall delivers in the clutch. Billy Klaus wants to keep this rally going. Watch Billy go to the opposite field with this outside pitch. It's a run for Pearsall and a double for Klaus. Dead-eyed Dick Gernert's all set to show you some real marksmanship. Bullseye. You don't see that one too often. And there goes Dick into second base. When the Red Sox retire their opponents with a final out of an inning, the fans are happy, and they're in the mood for that pause that refreshes. Near at hand, of course, is frosty, delicious Coca-Cola. For as long as baseball has been America's favorite sport, Coke has been America's favorite soft drink. The banners are flying, and so are the gags. Those must have been some funny ground rules. Chicago's Billy Pierce on the firing line. Minnie Minoso just misses connections. Now Minoso on offense. And the Red Sox have a good pitcher going too, Tom Brewer. Jim Pearsall is set for anything. Here's some good fielding by Jim. But a double's a double. Hey, a White Sox fan. Minnie can't believe it either. Get ready for one of the closest plays and toughest calls of the season. Larry Doby's the hitter. Good backing up by Jackie Jensen. Here comes the play at the plate. He's out, says the umpire. What do you think? She agrees. Let's check that play again in slow motion. And he's still out. Sherm Lawler and Minoso have their own ideas. Minnie will be doing his arguing for Cleveland this season. Now here's the busy Minoso in a rundown play. And notice how many players in the picture. That's Klaus, to Gernert with Frank Sullivan standing by. Now to Ted Lepsio, who makes the tag, backed up by Frank Malzone. And here's the left fielder, Ted Williams, coming into the scene. It took almost all of them to spring the trap. Pitcher facing pitcher. Billy Pierce against Tommy Brewer, who lays down a perfect bunt. And this is one play that Sammy Esposito will never forget. Some days it just doesn't pay to get up. A lifetime 350 hitter versus a 20-game winner. Baseball at its crowd-pleasing best. Another hit for the famous number 9. Here's a display of some real right-handed power by Jackie Jensen. Williams on first. 2 outs, reminds Coach Del Baker. Jensen, in 3 of his 4 years with Boston, has knocked in at least 100 runs a season. That one is really tagged. Lepsio scores easily. Williams takes no chances and hits the dirt, even though Lepsio gives him the stay-up sign. And what do you think of this for an outstanding catch? Larry Doby still has the ball, concrete wall and all. Looks like Doby's all right, though, because here he is head first at home plate. It's State of Rhode Island Day at Fenway Park. From the looks of this packed house, little old Rhodey must be a ghost state today. Rhode Island's most famous baseball fan, Lolly Hopkins, takes a much-deserved bow for her years of unswerving loyalty to the Red Sox. Here's somebody else who can take plenty of bows, the American League's all-star third baseman, Frank Malzone. His play has won him a firm place in the hearts of Red Sox fans who have marveled at his great all-around performance. The front office no longer need to look for a top-flight third baseman with Frank in the lineup. In his first full season in the American League, Malzone handled more chances than any third baseman in the last 20 years. It doesn't matter where they hit them, Malzone comes up with that ball. Going off to his left. Diving to his right to protect the line. Or starting a double play around the horn with his strong throwing arm, Frank makes all the plays at third. And you can bet that this crowd is going home talking about Malzone's fielding skill. As for Frank, he's taking the family for an outing to the seashore. You can see the Malzones are Coke fans, too, and the family goes for that delicious, refreshing taste of ice-cold Coca-Cola. Frank Malzone worked hard to arrive at baseball stardom. He spent 7 years working his way up on Red Sox farm clubs and overcame a fractured ankle, which nearly ended his career when he was 20. But ability and determination paid off for this quiet and modest fellow. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. There's young Jimmy Malzone. He's your Red Sox third baseman 20 years from now. One of the high spots of recent American League seasons has been the duel for American League batting honors between Ted Williams and the Yankees' Mickey Mantle. The fans really turned out to watch the younger Mantle battle the old master for the league batting crown. Still a comparative youngster as far as baseball ages go, Mantle has already established himself as an all-time Yankee great. He edged Williams for the crown in 1956. But in 1957, Williams wrote a fantastic batting story to attain his 5th American League batting championship. And Red Sox fans make no secret how they feel about their Ted. At the age of 39, Williams hit 388 to become the oldest player in Major League history to cop a league batting title. Art Ditmar is just one of the many pitchers since 1939 who's had to face the big guy, knowing he's one of the great hitters of all time. Come on, Teddy boy. When Williams digs in, excitement mounts. A great athlete is always relaxed. Everyone has their eyes on Ted. Those blacksmith arms and strong wrists supply the famous Williams power. The keen eyes are unmatched in baseball. Here's the pitch, the classic Williams swing. And there it goes. Another Ted Williams home run. In 1957, Williams' batting average was the highest in the major leagues since his own 406 back in 1941. He also posted the highest slugging average of the last 16 years in the majors. What more can you say than Ted Williams, one of the all-time greats? And that's the ball game. A season has come and gone. We appreciate your loyalty to the Boston Red Sox and to Coca-Cola. And we'll see you at Fenway Park.
Frank Malzone of the Boston Red Sox.
What do you know, folks? This is baseball. They're on the way to win the flag. And you can bet your bottom dollar we got the series in the bag.
When it comes to third base play, Malzone is a master. Frank won the Gold Glove Award as the best in the majors in 1957. And he's been riding high ever since to establish an enviable set of records both in the field and at the plate. His secret is hustle, and it paid off with his selection on the American League All-Star team for 4 straight years. At bat, Frank is all confidence. With a firm stance and a solid grip on his stick. A line drive hitter, he chokes up just slightly on the handle. And also important is his elbow control. Frank's arms are well away from his body. And this is a must for a free, fluid swing. Net result, base hits. Frank applies the same alertness on defense. Note how he gets set with the pitch. Balanced and ready for anything. He's in position for a routine bouncer, or to race in for a bare hand pickup and lightning throw. A good hot corner man must be able to go either way in a split second, and correct balance is the key. Moving to his right, Malzone backhands the ball neatly, and check how quickly he recovers for his throw. Now he goes the other way, right on top of the bounce. It's another easy out. Toughest play for most third sackers is moving in on a bunt. Malzone's advice is to make it sure with both hands. Bare hand grabs are flashy, but it's better to play it safe and get one than to miss 2. The throw from third to first is the longest on the infield. And here's the way to do it correctly. Overhand with full body follow through. Now the wrong way. No sidearm stuff, unless you're looking for a sore elbow. On throws from the outfield to nail a runner, Frank guides the toss, then blocks the base with his glove. Always keep the back of the glove toward the spikes. No bare hand like this, or you'll lose a finger, or the ball, or both. It takes a lot of know-how to cover third in the majors, and Frank Malzone has the touch. The pride of the Bo Sox and an American League All-Star.
memories are here of the dreams and teams who held our hearts through another baseball year. For the stands hold the ghostly echoes of the cheers of other seasons. Why is it we've come back here? The heart must have its reasons. Remember the day that Double X hit one way out there? A single wide door to DiMaggio's blast day there. And how we'd rave when Tex or Dave was going to the mound. Mel's lefty serves, Ellie Kinder's curves, Coleman's bat made a booming sound. And remember the kid and that dance he did jogging down the line? And the way we'd shout, "Come on, hit one out," when we saw that number 9. But these tales are of the old days and not of this park, it seems. Where can we find the young men to match our impossible dreams?
The Impossible Dream, the Boston Red Sox, a tribute to a team and a town, and a tribute to that sun-drenched, wind-burned, sore-throated fraternity, the baseball fans of New England.
In this jet age, when you report baseball, you come to know airports. You know them in the quiet hours before the dawn, when only a cleaning man or two seems to notice you have come to his city after a night game 300 miles away, and the man with the broom does not seem to care. Or you know the airport bustle of the late afternoon as you crowd your way toward the airplane after an afternoon game in Detroit, on to California, and a twilighter tomorrow. It's a jet age, when Connie Mack's beloved athletics have long since moved from the shadow of the Liberty Bell. And in a jet age baseball story such as this, it seems fitting that the first chapter of the story of the team, which was to become the 1967 Red Sox, had as its setting not the base paths of a baseball diamond, but the runways of an airport. On this September day, as another season out of the baseball sun was grinding toward a close, a man named Dick Williams came to town. This was the man who would mold the dream. A young leader with the face of a choir boy, the heart of a lion tamer, and the nerve of a riverboat gambler. He would return to the airport many times in the year which was to follow, and it would not always be a lonely place. What was it that happened in this year? Why did the airport arrival of a team of professional baseball players become a cause for community celebration? Why would the waiting room of an airport suddenly become the place to shout greetings to an outfielder, or rub shoulders with a second baseman, or just to smile at a pitcher? The story of what happened will long be told around Boston, for it is a story worth the telling. You'd have to call it really a love story, an affair twixt a town and a team. A town that had waited and waited for what seemed an impossible dream.
Gentlemen, we're very pleased to introduce a fellow that is known to all of you, our new manager, a man we think will do a great job for the Boston Red Sox, and we're looking forward to the coming season immediately. Dick Williams.
Thank you, Dick. Being here is quite a pleasure, I'll tell you. I've had 2 years' experience managing. I consider this quite a challenge. Sully and I will do a lot of talking in the next few days, along with Dick. And the only thing I can tell you right now, I'll guarantee you we'll have a hustling ball club, and they won't quit. They didn't quit on me in Toronto. I don't intend to have anybody quit on me here.
Dick, will you make a prediction for the 1967 Red Sox?
I honestly think we'll win more ball games than we lose.
The story had its beginnings under the Florida sun. The odds makers looked them over and said, 100 to 1. New faces in the lineup, showing off their skill. They got the Williams message. If you came to play, you will. Kids fresh up from the minors. Veterans looking for a spot. If you want to make this ball club, you give it all you've got. The philosophy is changing. The new manager's stepping in. They're learning a baseball lesson. It's much more fun to win. They came north to frosty Fenway and won the opening game, and the fans began to sense it. This year was not quite the same.
Reggie Smith, an outfielder by trade, was at second base in the opener, both defensively and offensively. Then the other half of the opening day double play combination. As you see Reggie Smith at second base, Rico Petrocelli came to the plate. Sent the first run across the Fenway Park plate. A.G. throws home, but Smith is safe. Petrocelli, the fan shouted, "Come on, Rico kid, put it in the nets," and that's exactly what he did.
Then they traveled to Yankee Stadium for an early April game. A kid pitcher up from Toronto knocked on the door of fame.
Roar winds. Here it comes. Fly ball to deep left. Yastrzemski is going hard. Way back, way back. And he dives and makes a tremendous catch. One of the greatest catches we've ever seen by Yastrzemski in left field. Everybody in Yankee Stadium on their feet roaring as Yastrzemski went back and came down with that ball. What a play that was.
And now Billy Rohr gets ready to work to Joe Pepitone. 1 out in the Yankee ninth inning. Rohr is 2 outs away. The pitch to Joe. Inside for a ball. Yankee first baseman waiting on Rohr. Russ Gibson working back of the plate. Fly ball toward right field. Canigliaro. And 2 out in the Yankee ninth inning. Tension at Yankee Stadium now as Elston Howard stands up there. The count works up to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Red Sox dugout on edge. Rohr looking in to get the sign from Russ Gibson. The scoreboard tells the story. The pitch to Howard, hit into right field. It's a base hit. And the no-hit try is broken up as Howard on a 3-2 pitch with 2 out in the ninth inning singles cleanly into right field. Rohr now ready to work to Charlie Smith, the Yankee third baseman. Young left-hander. Getting set. Howard at first base, Scott holding at the bag against him. The pitch to Smith. Fly ball into right field. Canigliaro makes the catch and the ball game is over. And the Red Sox bench unloads as they come out to greet Billy Rohr, a one-hitter in his first Major League start.
As thoughts of First Division seemed less and less a dream, the Red Sox baseball symphony developed a dominant theme.
Carl Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski, the man they call, yes, we love him. Carl Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski, what power he has. Our Boston team is always on the beam, cause we got Jazz. We Fenway fans, we stop and clap our hands, and Jazz is Jazz. Rival pitchers on the mound all shake. They dread each windup that they have to take. When number 8 is standing at the plate and then he swings, whoa, there it goes again.
It won't last, said the experts. They'll never stand the pace. But toward the end of April, guess who gained first place?
Here comes Tony, here comes George, and the Red Sox have won it. In 15 innings, the Red Sox pull it out 11-10 and go into a tie for first place in the American League.
Yes, Jose Tarnabul is mobbed by his teammates going off. As April's day stretched into May's, there were new bridges to be crossed, but they kept their manager's promise. They won more than they lost.
Now the fans began to talk more with each victory that was won. It was more than just a slogan. Being there was twice the fun. Remember that day against Cleveland?
Base hit for Jones. Should be good for extra bases. 2 runs are coming across. Yastrzemski digs for 3. Triple. It is gone.
With hit and run and double steal, the Boston kids were hurt, and they stayed up in the thick of things. Now 5th, now 4th, now 3rd.
At times, the team would falter. It seems they'd hit the skids, but they sounded attack and came battling back. They called them the Cardiac Kids. Take that night in June, for example.
It was scoreless for 10 innings, then Eddie Stanky's White Sox pushed across a run on the top of the 11th. Joe Foy got a single, but there were still 2 men out. Then Glory B. Tony C. unleashed a mighty clout. The ball, it soars. The crowd, it roars. A towering home run. As teammates wait at home plate, we've won it 2-1.
They were becoming known as a fighting ball club, and one night in New York, they proved it.
Short left field, Yastrzemski making a long run. Watch out, Carl. He makes the catch. Joe Foy. Another base hit for Carl. Here comes Andrews to score. And the throw is going into second. It is 5-0. Tillotson will go to first. And he and Lonborg are exchanging words now. And some of the Yankees are starting to come out of the dugout just a step or so. Ralph Hoff, Joe Pepitone, now Joe Foy's in it. And the umpires are converging as Foy went over to get Tillotson. Ball club is out there. Starting to slowly come out of the Red Sox dugout now. Petrocelli hollering over at Pepitone. And it's getting hot. There goes Pepitone as they go to it here at Yankee Stadium. Out of the bullpens, they're coming now. Both bullpens out. And they're trying to restore order. That is Petrocelli that you saw there in that close-up shot. And now it's spreading over a little bit towards second base. Bad Tillotson hit by a long board pitch. Said something to him, and Tillotson, of course, had hit Foy. And then Foy started saying something, and you could see some of the Yankees coming out, and from that point on, it started.
Then it's back to baseball, and Lonborg hasn't lost the touch. He fans Horace Clark.
Pretty call. Smith had a base hit last time, but tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out. There is ball 1, and Smith now points out toward the mound.
Joe Foy over to second, back to first. Snappy double play pulled off.
Tempers are a little high at the moment, though. Gave him a shave on that one. Same type of hit. Smith, safe. Back to third. Out. Amaro making the tag. And Marmoquette is going to argue on the play at first base. Bill figured they had it Canigliaro at first. And you can kind of tell, can't you? Now Ralph Houck is coming out to the first base umpire, Bill Haller, who is getting an earful from him. On the play, a run scored. Canigliaro will get credit for a run batted in. And now Houck is out of the game.
The All-Star game break came, and this surprising team sent 4 of its players to the big game at Anaheim. Yastrzemski, Lomborg, Petrocelli, and Canigliaro.
It won't last, said the experts. They haven't got the speed. But it's All-Star break. And for heaven's sake, we're just 6 from the lead.
Then back to friendly Fenway. A hot streak in July. Pennant fever's setting in and the fever's running high.
One.
And there's ball 4. Oh, Aparicio leads off the game with a walk. Ball 4. Snyder waiting on the call from Honachek. So the first 2 men are on for Baltimore. Line drive to Foy over to second. And on to first base. Triple play.
A lesson in how to tame a tiger.
Base hit in the right field. There's Jim Northrup feeling it, throwing it in, and Reggie Smith starts it off for the Red Sox. The big pitch. Slammed in the left field. Willie Horton can't get it, takes it on the hop. A base hit for Mike Ryan. Reggie Smith moves up to second base. The Red Sox have 2 on now with nobody out. To the box, Farmer has it to play to third, not in time, and the ball gets away from downward. Bounced over Wert's head in the left field. Reggie Smith comes on to score. The ball gets away from Horton, and now Mike Ryan. High fly ball to left field. Will Willie have room? He don't. Into the netting for a home run.
1-1. One and 2. Him out to end it. Another strikeout for Lyle.
The next night, they ran the tiger ragged.
That's ripped. Stanley looking up, and Joe Foy has hit one off the wall. Andrews coming around, and Foy at second with a double. Yaz trying for 2, and Northrup has trouble as Yaz turns second and holds at second base. Foy is home to make it 2-0. Yastrzemski was breaking with a pitch, and he scores, and Scott is on first.
And it's been a double play. Well hit to left. And that's going to be a great catch by Yastrzemski. You saw it, and that is out number 3.
You can win them in your own yard. Can you win them on the road? Just watch them go. 10 in a row. The whole team shares the load.
As the team heads on the road trip, each fan sings the song. Through the broadcasts and in spirit, please take me along. Take me out to Baltimore.
Well stroked to left field. That's fair ball, and that is going to be gone. A home run for Andrews. What a shot. Mike Andrews puts the Red Sox ahead with a 3-run homer, his 4th of the year. Runs batted in 19, 20, and 21, and he'll get quite a reception from Reggie Smith and Mike Ryan. And watch him as he goes to the dugout. He's going to make it 2 for 3 now. Into the gap, and a ground rule double as it bounces over the fence. Boy is starting to hit. Well hit to right field. Blefrey will not be able to get that one. It's bounding past him on the carom for extra bases. 2 runs have scored. Tony's trying for 3, and he's got him. A triple for Canigliaro to the opposite field.
Here's Canigliaro with a double and a triple in 3 trips. And this one may go for at least 2, maybe more. Tony going around second base. Here's the throw to third, and he is safe at third base with a triple. Line drive to right. Canigliaro makes the catch, and the Red Sox win it, making it 2 in a row here in Baltimore. As they take it 6-4, they've now won 6 straight, 8 of their last 9, as they continue to run hot in this American League pennant race.
Take me out to Cleveland.
3 Cleveland hits. Yastrzemski calls off Adair and makes the catch. 1 out in the 9th. Horton is out, 2 down in the 9th inning. Line drive toward Thomas. He's got it, and the Red Sox do it again as they down the Cleveland Indians on a superb pitching job turned in by Lee Stang.
Look at them go, 10 in a row.
Long drive to left center. Davalillo is back to the fence, and it is gone for a home run. Canigliaro puts the Red Sox on top 2-0. This may be good for a couple. May after the ball, and Adair going around first and on to second. Easy double for Jerry Adair. And with the bases full, Joe Foy is up. Long drive to left field by Joe Foy, and this one is a grand slam.
As the season lengthens into August, the Red Sox refuse to fold. The pitching comes through to pick them up whenever their bats grow cold. Sure, the Tigers lead. Chicago has speed, and the Twins still have Oliva. But with Yaz and Scott and what we've got, just feel that pennant fever.
Then one August night, the kid in right lies sprawling in the dirt. The fastball struck him square. He's down. Tony's badly hurt.
The doctors say he'll be okay, but he won't be back this year. With Tony through, what can they do? Who'll carry them from here? Yaz comes through. Mike Andrews, too. They're winning them with style. Lonborg and Bell are pitching well. And there's Wyatt, and there's Lyle.
They need the wins to match the Twins, the Tigers, and Chicago. Rico, Jones, Adair, Foy, Stang, and Santiago.
No one player does the job. Each day a different hero. The comeback against the Angels after trailing 8-0.
There are 2 men out now in the 9th inning for the California Angels. Ground ball to Adair. Over to second. This Sunday's hero gets the final out in a doubleheader sweep. It was Adair's 8th inning home run, which climaxed the comeback, gave the Red Sox a 9-8 second game win after they trailed 8-0.
Then there was that big weekend in Chicago.
He's done it again. Adair comes through in the clutch, and the Red Sox lead 1-0. Yastrzemski makes the catch. Goes to the opposite field, maybe trouble. Colavito won't be able to get it. Bouncing toward the wall. There's Rocky digging it out. And the throw coming in, it's going to be a triple for Ryan. A run batted in as Andrews scores. Popped up, Rico Petrocelli and Mike Andrews, and it is Mike who's got it. And the Red Sox are on top again.
The next day, the little fellow in right threw a strike you had to see twice to believe.
Here's Berry. Lines one to left for a base hit. And is into second base with a double. Ken Berry gets the first pitch and lines it past the glove of Adair at third for a double. The bunt, grabbed by Scott. He goes to first and gets him on a close play. George looked toward third and then saw he didn't have it, so he went over to Andrews covering first. Is getting the call. And going out to the mound is Dick Williams. Josephson is batting .307 with 31 hits and 101 at-bats. And he is going to make the change here and go to Wyatt. Well, Josephson's up there, and the Red Sox infield is in with 1 out and the runner at third base in the 9th inning. There is Berry. There's a drive into right field, caught by Tarnable. Runner tags. Here's the throw home, and he is out at the plate. He is out at home. And there's a drive into right field, caught by Tarnable. Runner tags. Here's the throw home, and he is out at the plate. He is out at home.
The pennant race maintains its pace. The pressure's great, it seems. Now only 1 percentage point divides the 4 top teams.
If you want to win, you have to hold that tiger.
George Scott gets a base hit. Here comes Tarnable around third. Mickey Stanley throws. He is safe at home. And the Red Sox have tied it up. The pitch gets away. Here comes Yastrzemski, and the Red Sox lead 3-2. Scott moves to third, and Jones goes to second. Fly ball to right field. Scott going back and tagging up. Kaline makes the catch. Here's the throw, and he is safe at home.
And you have to fight off those Indians.
Well hit toward left center. It is out of here. Home run, number 41 for Yastrzemski.
Adair makes the stop. throws to Scott for the out. Another sparkling play by Jerry Adair. Line drive, base hit into center. Reggie Smith up with the ball, and Elvis has his third hit of the night. Ground ball to Petrocelli, hits slowly, throws to second for one, back to first. Out for a double play, and the Red Sox end it.
With a week to go, you have to cage the Orioles if you want to crack at the Cardinals.
Louis Aparicio lifts a fly to Thomas in left. He's got it. The Red Sox have their 6th victory on an 8-game trip, and Jose Santiago walks off the field, the winning pitcher for the 3rd of those 6 vital victories.
The days grow few. We're down to 2 at home against the Twins. We must win both. The dream is through if Minnesota wins.
Check swing roller. Line throw, safe. Mike Andrews, checking the swing, has himself an infield hit, his 2nd of the day. With 1 out in the 7th, there is 1 on, and the batter is Jerry Adair. Klein, safe. Zoilo Versailles in.
And now it's down to just 1 game. Win it or you're through. Just 1 more game to clinch a tie. The impossible dream come true.
The standings tell the story. Tell it at a glance. To clinch at least a pennant tie, the Sox must beat Dean Chance.
Dean Chance has pitched a 4-hit shutout so far. Good bunt. And he can't play it. Bunt single for Lonborg to lead off the 6th inning. Adair is 0 for 2 facing Chance. 2-0. Twins lead 6th inning. Crowd coming alive. And this is a base hit to center. Lonborg will hold at second. 2 on, none out. A big moment in the ballgame for the Red Sox right now. Swinging away, base hit to left. Lonborg being held at third base, and they're loaded up. Bench. Tight and tense, looking at the action. Base hit to center. Lonborg scores. Adair will score. It's tied up. Kenny Harrelson, the batter, with 2 on and none out. 2-2 is the score. Yaz will go to second. A run will score. And Harrelson will leave now, and Tartable will run for him. Here comes Tal Irmer out. The Red Sox lead it 3-2. This is Worthington's 6th appearance against Boston. No wins, 1 loss. Ball getting away from Zimmerman, and the runners move up. There it goes, gets away. The run will score. 4-2. 1 out, 2 on. Killebrew has a knock off his leg. That'll be another run.
Hit to Andrews. Tags Ulander for 1 to throw to first in time. A double play. Now is Rich Rollins moves to the plate to face Jim Lonborg. Little soft pop-up. Petroselli will take it. He does. The ball game is over. The Red Sox win it. And what a mob on this field. They're coming out of the stands from all over.
Thomas Austin Yawkey, owner, sportsman, fan. Baseball lives in Boston through the efforts of this man.
How do you feel at this moment? We honestly don't know anything beyond the fact that they have tied for the pennant. But how do you
Correct.
feel?
I feel terrifically thrilled about the whole thing, I'll tell you.
I know that midway through the season you and I talked, and I asked you how you compared this club with your 46, and you said this one gave you a bigger kick. They gave you a lot of big kicks, didn't they?
Well, I'll say they did, and as I think I told you then, this was a young club, and they came all from a long ways back. The 46 club was a veteran club. Came back from the turbos, practically all of them, and they got jumped off to a big lead. I think with 40, we won 41 out of our first 50 games. And I think this club was 3 games over 500, I think, at the All-Star break. So I don't think there's much question. I mean, this club gave me a lot bigger kick than the 46 club, although that was a big one, too.
Does it make up for the 49 disappointment?
Well, in this game you have disappointments, and you're going to have them. But yes, I would say that it did make up for that, 48 and 49. Right. They were both close races, you remember.
Well, you deserve it, no matter what happens, Tom.
Well,
you're a great credit to Boston, and it's always been a delight to know you.
Well, it's wonderful to be here, and I'm particularly happy to be here today.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
What's this for? Do you have a child or something?
Yeah, we're having a perfect day. Yes. What?
Write it up. Red all back.
What can I say? What? 7 for 8 in the final 2 biggest games of your life? You're too much.
I was trying best I could, Don, and if I had something going for me, I wanted to win it for Mr. Yawkey. He deserved it.
How do you account for having such a phenomenal year? I mean, is it just one of those things where you feel every time you go up that you're going to get a base hit?
I just felt great physically. Felt confident at the beginning of the year because I felt so great physically doing all those exercises. I graduated from college last winter. I didn't have to worry about it during the winter time, going back to studies or anything. I had a winter to rest and relax, and I just felt great when I started spring training.
It must give you, or are you used yet to being the superstar?
I don't know, super. But I just feel great. It's great.
Now all we have to do is sweat out that second game. But anyway, it's a phenomenal year that's been climaxed by at least a tie for the American League.
Yes, it has. And knowing Mr. Rigney and the California Angels, they're going to give the Tigers a battle. They're going to give them a battle.
And no matter what happens.
It's a great year, and we're going to be battling the Tigers if we have to play them in the playoffs.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Don. Thank you.
You had it all the way, huh?
Had it all the way, just like we've had them all year long. We fought from behind all year long, and they did it again today.
Were you getting concerned when it was getting around the 5th inning and you hadn't scored as yet?
Well, we were hitting the ball pretty good off chance and not having any luck. So the way things turned out,
we stayed with them all the way, and they start falling in. Yaz had another one of his brilliant days, defensively, offensively, everything, and the ball club in general has been fabulous all year long, and they just did it again, Don.
Now, on Wednesday, you'll start Lauenborg, will you?
We've got to root the Angels home now. I hear they're behind 2-1 at the end of 2. It's a long ball game just like ours, and we hope to get them out of there. And if we could win this thing free and clear today, then it would probably be San Diego open up and Lauenborg would go Thursday.
I get you, so he gets his 3 days rest.
Yes.
And if there is a playoff, who will go tomorrow for you?
Stang is ready to go tomorrow.
Okay, good luck.
Williams, Yastrzemski, and Lauenborg. Yastrzemski, Williams, and Lauenborg. Choose any billing you wish. The fact remains they led a team in a single season from half a game out of the cellar to a pennant. Again to the locker room. Remember, the Tigers still have a chance to tie. Here is the magic moment as the clubhouse radio told an anxious audience it was pennant, not playoff, for the remarkable Red Sox.
Brunette ready, delivers. He swings and pops it up. Back of the short left, going back for Dorsey. Coming in Woody Hell, the left fielder makes the catch for the out.
So now the 1967 American League season was over. The impossible dream had come true. For the first time in 21 years, the Red Sox were in the World Series. As was the case in 1946, the last time Boston had won a pennant, they faced the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, the Cardinals of St. Louis, with their Gibsons, Floods, and Brocks, are rated heavy favorites to beat the battling, hustling Sawx. Fans were in, over, and around proud old Fenway Park on a beautiful autumn day. Carl Yastrzemski, still making the big plays, throws the madly sprinting Julian Javier out at the plate. And later, Yaz robbed Curt Flood of a double. But the larcenous Lou Brock scored both of his team's runs. He literally stole the game. And Brock's runs were enough for the overpowering Bob Gibson. The Cards won it 2-1.
Lauenborg and Yastrzemski led the way in the second game. Yaz hit 2 home runs. The first off starter Dick Hughes. The second, a 3-run wallop off left-hander Joe Horner. In his first World Series start, Jim Lauenborg flirted with immortality. Curt Flood walked in the 7th inning, and he became the first Cardinal base runner. And Julian Javier made the only hit off Lauenborg in the 8th inning, and the series was tied 1-1.
On to St. Louis. Third baseman Mike Shannon turned slugger to account for the winning run with a 2-run homer in the second inning against right-hander Gary Bell. Nelson Briles stopped Yastrzemski, and St. Louis won 5-2 and led in games 2-1.
Lou Brock demonstrated the meaning of leg hit in the first inning of the 4th game. When Curt Flood singled, the Cardinals had 2 men on against Jose Santiago, and Roger Maris, leading RBI man in the series, doubled to left. Brock and Flood sped home. Bob Gibson spun a shutout. The Cardinals had a 3-1 series lead.
The Cardinals, they said, would do it in 5. But Ken Harrelson drove in a third-inning run. Then Elston Howard batted in another in the 9th. And Card right fielder Maris threw in a third. Jim Lonborg did the rest. He held St. Louis to 3 hits and 1 run, a homer in the 9th by Maris. When Joe Foy threw out Cepeda, the Sox trailed in games 2-3.
Back to Fenway, backs to the wall, until Rico Petrocelli put one over it. And Yastrzemski. And Reggie Smith. And Petrocelli again. The long ball had brought the Red Sox a long way back, all the way to a 7th game. They just sat there, and they waited for the final game to start. How to find words to say it, this gripping at the heart. For they had cheered since April, this young and hustling crew. Now they sat Section 9, Row 12, Seats 1 and 2. One said, Lonnie looks tired. The other said, Gibson's strong. They joined the shout as their team raced out. The team they had cheered so long. And they saw it happening. In the October sun, as they sat Section 9, Row 12, Seats 2 and 1. The Cardinals are the champions. That's what the scoreboard said. But Seat 1 looked at 2. Quietly, he shook his head. I've been to losing games before, he said. He paused, his throat to clear. These kids are not losers. Boy, the throws they gave this year. And Seat 2 nodded wisely and barely looked around. Did you notice at the end, he said, they had young Brett on the mound. They'll be back next season. No telling what they'll do. And Seat 1 put his hand on the shoulder of Seat 2, and off they walked from Fenway, with memories of this team, which ran and hit and never quit, and forged an impossible dream.